From the Empire State to the Golden Gates, this is Quad Radio USA.
Cool. Oh, yeah.
Now, with all the dirt from the world of ATV motocross and GNCC racing, here's Mr. 10 Seconds, Rodney Tomlin.
And a good evening, everyone, as we welcome you to Quad Radio. And a good evening, everyone, as we welcome you to Quad Radio Live, as tonight's worldwide Globecast is coming to you from the Shooters of Ohio camp in the beautiful southeastern Ohio. It's a deer camp, my friends, and Quad Radio USA is having fun for sure out here, as we've got a big show planned for you tonight. First, I want to say thanks to our friends at Impact Solutions, your factory-authorized service center for Elko suspension, located over there at 985 Harris Highway in Parkersburg, West Virginia. They've got all your Stage 4 shocks, your Stage 5, your shock protectors, all the good stuff. And also want to say thanks to our friends at SSI Decals as well, a big supporter of Quad Radio Live. As tonight we say good evening and welcome to a top former AMA Pro ATV motocross. I don't really want to technically call him a former Pro AMA ATV motocrosser, but an AMA Pro ATV motocrosser is kind of on a hiatus. He spent some time up in New England. He spent some time on a snowmobile, at least for the first time. Today, as we say good evening and welcome to one Travis Moore. What's going on, buddy?
Oh, man, just hanging out here, getting some food on the stomach and recuperating from the day, man. It's been a rough one and a little bit of a cold one.
A rough one and a cold one. Oh, that's right. Wait a minute. Things are looking up for Travis Moore. And what we say whenever things are looking up right now, we mean really looking up. Up north, where you at, man?
Man, I'm up here about 115 minutes north of Duluth, Minnesota. I couldn't even tell you where I'm at. I know the population of the town here is, I think, about 1,800. So I feel right at home in a small town here. And we're at a place called the Lodge. It's a really nice place here, and we're staying at. And they actually made some snow for a practice track. The biggest race of the season here is coming up. I guess it's kind of like they compare it to the Loretta Lynn's for four-wheelers and dirt bikes here. You know, this is the one for snowmobiles. If you're anybody or anything, you're at this race and you're on a sled and you're racing. So they shipped me up here. I got 2 days to figure out how to go fast on a sled and try to qualify. So we'll see how that goes Friday.
So you're getting ready to race your first ATV race, or excuse me, snowmobile race ever, and it's coming up in 2 days, and this is the first time you've ever had the opportunity to throw your leg over one of these, huh?
You got it, bud. You know how I roll. If there's a challenge, I'm willing to take it. And I settled one this year, like you mentioned. I ran up for Southside Polaris. I ran the New England Series, and it was doing really good and really like them guys. Bruce Jr. and Senior, they're great guys, and we had a good program going there, and strong. And just like normal, I come off the bike and injured myself without knowing, and kind of shortened our season up there. But they, after all the surgery and after all the healing, 4.5 months later, they gave me a phone call and an opportunity to come ride the snowmobile. So I've actually sat on one for about 10 seconds before, but today I rode one 5 or 6 times, and feeling a little bit more comfortable, I guess you would say.
I know you sent me some pictures earlier, and I tried to download them, and I got them downloaded in my computer, but for some reason I can't get them to come up on the web here unless, oh, right there it is. Oh, man, if you're watching the monitor right now, we've got a nice little shot of you laying in the snow, and this big old snowmobile is rolling towards you, it looks like, Timor. What's going on there?
Yes, that is the Tennessee Tuxedo Snow Angel right there. That was actually like 3.5 to maybe 3/4 of a lap in my very first lap. Something about the throttle in my thumb, man. It stays pinned and stays on it too much when I don't know what I'm doing. I guess I thought I knew, and it threw me off pretty quick and put me in check. Said, hey, look, I'm in control right now. You got to learn how to handle this first. So it dumped me off, and unfortunately, just helped me off about 2 more times after that. So I was out there making snow angels, that's for sure.
It's making snow angels.
Definitely the snow, man. And I tell you, just what it looks like. It's cold and wet, and it gets down in your shirt and your jacket, and it sticks with you for the rest of the day.
Yeah, and you said they're making that snow, and it looks rather brown rather than white. So I would assume it is pretty wet and muddy and cold, and yeah, nice.
Yeah, you know, lucky for me, it's not too bad right now as far as the temperature goes. Around West Tennessee, it was about 68 when we got on the plane in Nashville. And we got up here, and of course it was cold. It was nighttime. It was about 30 degrees. But today, I ain't totally mistaken, we was up to about 45 degrees.
Wow.
I was actually sweating a little bit, so it wasn't just too bad. But they said don't get too happy too quick. I think the high at some point this weekend is 30 degrees. So it's gonna drop 20, 25 degrees, and I'm sure put a shock in my system.
I'm sure it will, man. But, wow, but at least you're getting acclimated to the machine in somewhat comfortable temperature. So that right there, I guess, is probably as much as anything a plus and a positive. And you come from a background of ATV racing, so, I mean, I'm sure a lot of the ergonomics and things are rather similar. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of differences at the same time. Probably the biggest difference is if you do come off, it probably don't hurt nearly as bad as it does on an ATV.
It hasn't yet, but they've been telling me you get ran over by one of the spikes in there. They said, don't worry because the spikes won't stick in you real far, but the spikes will go into your skin and penetrate you a little bit there. So I've yet to have that hurt worse than being on an ATV in that hard dirt that seems like concrete. The snow is definitely a little bit more forgiving. So that's one thing I was excited about because I seem to keep falling off a bunch today.
Well, that's good. At least you haven't gotten bitten bad, man. That's one good thing about it. Now, tell me how you got that how all that came to pass. I guess we could say you said you were riding for Southside Polaris, and from what I remember, you were riding for them up in New England this year, right?
Yeah, that's correct. You know, they approached me about a deal at the end of last year when I wasn't real sure. You know, kind of similar to our talk last year. Wasn't real sure what I was going to do. And they contacted me, and we got the deal figured out. And, you know, we went racing. And unfortunately for me, and it seems like some of the luck I have, I went down a week before the first race. And, you know, was knocked unconscious by a local place there that Anderson Construction there, Joey Anderson, me and him got together and put the place Pine Top MX. And I went down pretty hard there and was knocked silly and unconscious. And managed to get up and fly out a week later to go compete. And we started competing there throughout the season. I kept complaining about the wrist a lot. It dislocated twice in 7 weeks, and I kept pushing. For whatever reason, I just kept trying to push through it. And I just kept telling myself, look, man, you know, it ain't as bad as you're making out today. You got to ride. These people stepped up. They're offering you something, you know, getting flown around the United States, seeing people and learning new tracks and getting the opportunity to do what I love, you know, suck it up and ride. Fortunately, I went up one day and couldn't really move my arm, couldn't feel much, and went in for a second opinion. And before I knew it, I was shipped off to Vanderbilt and getting surgery done. And, you know, them telling me the past 3 months I've had a bone in my wrist broke completely in two. So I made it through about 8 rounds of racing with a broken bone and a blood vessel cut completely in two. So it done a lot of damage to my hand, and the doctor wasn't even sure that I'd ever ride again. So it's a great opportunity. I'm even here, and you know, the guys at Southside, the faith they have in me all season long, they was never once anything negative towards me, never once disappointed, because they knew when I showed up at the track that I was going to give it 100%, whether I was 100% or not. And you know, that's what I've done every time until the big man finally told me that. I guess when I lost all the feeling in my hand, it was time to get it done right, because it got to the point there where it was pretty bad. It's like the doctor said, you know, he kind of called me the miracle hand. He don't know what happened. He said he don't know if I believed in the higher power. You know, he said he didn't. He didn't know if I knew how to talk to one. I knew somebody knew how to talk to a higher power, but if I knew how to and knew somebody that knew how to, I'm not going to tell him thank you, because he sure didn't heal me, because he planned to never let me race again. So it was a big deal there. In Southside, you know, they stuck beside me, checking up on me every week, and as soon as I got released from the doctor, you know, they're calling me and like, hey, you like to race a sled? I was like, to race a what? They feel like racing snowmobiles, and at first I was like, these guys are absolutely crazy. And I ain't even seen that snow, more or less race a snowmobile. I knew I sat on one for 10 seconds, but that don't mean I can ride one. And they took into consideration with the heart I got, and they seen, I guess, the talent that I don't think as much of as they do, and they just knew I was pretty good on the dirt bike, and I guess you saying pretty decent on the pool, and they was like, we got 15 steps. So if you want to come try it, this is the date. Duluth, Minnesota. Let's see what you got, and here we are. So I guess you would say this is a team that's definitely stuck behind me all year. Like I said, from the injury to the rest of the year, they were there caring for me, every week, week in, week out. It didn't matter if I wanted to change something or what it was. They was always willing to work with me. We got a great program going. I hate it for me and the team about the injury, but we're just going to move forward from it now and see what we can make of it.
Yeah, exactly, man. I mean, that's a good positive thing, I know a lot of people probably wondered how things were going for you with the move, and especially if they were at Loretta Lynn's, because I remember last time I talked to you, that was a big issue as to whether or not you were ever going to ride again. And, I mean, that little bone issue was a pretty serious thing going on there, man. And, I mean, like you say, it sounds like it was a pretty miraculous thing. And I'm going to go with higher power, and somebody's got some faith somewhere that was praying for you. And I'm sure that there were several of them. I'm sure your mama and grandmama and everybody back home was praying pretty hard for you.
Yeah, that's exactly how it is. And, still to this day, right now, I'm standing in the hallway at the hotel here in Minnesota, which still gives me coaches. But when the number 2 doctor in the United States, takes on the surgery, and he's telling me that, you got a 50-50 shot here, and he was kept trying to make me feel better. He told me all along it wasn't a 50-50 shot, and he told me several doctors told him not to do the surgery, and because there was a very good chance of, a failure rate, and, at this point I do got a good thanks from the higher power, and I know that's what got me through it, and, that's just where I'm blessed with a praying family that don't mind hitting their knees when the time comes. I'm just thankful for having the backing I do, and everybody that did pray for me, and everybody that stood behind me, because there was a really good chance I wasn't going to ride again, and it makes you think a lot, trying to figure out what I'm going to do if I don't ride, what am I going to do, I was throwing around everything you could think about, and I finally just quit worrying about it, if it's be, it'll be, and I stuck with it and done everything I was supposed to do, and actually listened to the doctor for once. That's another miracle. You can speak about one miracle about me actually getting healed. The second miracle being me listening to the doctor. And that would be the first time in my life I ever listened to the doctor. So there's actually 2 miracles if you want to talk about them. So I did, though. I sat back and I listened to the doctor, and we got healed up. And for whatever reason, I'm in Minnesota racing snowmobile. So, me, it's always something different and it's up for a challenge.
Well, I tell you, man, anybody of any faith will always tell you when one door closes, it seems another opens for you, Travis. And I think that's probably been the story of your life, man. You've had some doors close, and you've had some doors open up, and it seems like every time that you've had a door open, it's been a more positive and enlightening experience for you, man. I mean, you go back all the way to your amateur career, probably, if you look at it, when you first started racing, to be honest with you, man. I mean, because every step of the way, it just seemed like things got better for you, and better and better. And then whenever it looked its bleakest, it still was good, and actually maybe even better, because, there's not a lot of people that would stand behind an individual quite like that Southside team has, man. And my hat's off to them for having the faith and the confidence in you, too.
Yeah, that's it, man. You're talking about the faith. There's been several times that if anybody knows that you do, you've been there, you've seen it all, you've announced it all. I've had my ups and downs, that's for sure. I'm gonna go with I've had more ups and downs, and to see the team, step up and say, hey, man, we see something in you. Let's try this, and I didn't know what to do at first, but I took the opportunity and I went for it, and I got hurt, and I'm thinking, man, what's next? And then as the doctor starts talking positive, they start talking about going to the snow, and I told them at first, I'll be honest with y'all, when it comes to cold weather, I'm a complete baby. I don't know how well this is going to work. I can try it, but we're doing right off that wintertime gets here. Motocross riders normally go Georgia, Florida, Mississippi. They go somewhere. We migrate with the birds. We go south. We don't go north. So this is different for me, man. And I'm pumped. I'm excited to be here. Just another opportunity, another challenge. Another day of waking up and breathing, walking, talking, and getting to be around motocross, man. This is it. It's different, but it's still motocross. Whether it's on a dirt bike, a full, or now on snowmobile. So, I'm just lucky to be able to ride and I just try all of them here. And this is another opportunity at a career and memories, and that's the thing. It's going to last a lifetime. I mean, everybody that has been there for me, everybody knows who they are, and when I say I truly appreciate everybody that's helped me get to where I've been and helped me complete all my dreams. Everybody out there that's zero know exactly who they are, and I would like to tell them thank you.
Well, I'm sure that they're listening, a lot of them, and we'll hear. And I'm sure that anybody that you've ever worked for, most everybody, I'm sure knows how appreciative you are of what opportunities they have afforded you. And if not, maybe they'll listen to this and realize it. So let's talk a little bit about this weekend. You said that this weekend's race, it's kind of like the Loretta Lynn's of amateur motocross, and this is the I guess Loretta Lynn's of snowcross. It's a big amateur ordeal. Is that what you're telling me?
Well, no, it's definitely not amateur. You're going to have all the factories here, and you're going to have anybody from what I know just as much about this as you do. Besides, I don't know if you've rode a snowmobile and wrecked it 3 times, but if you've rode one and wrecked 3 times, me and you're on the same level. I don't know nothing about what I'm doing, man. I had so many people talking to me today, and so many people helping me. I appreciate everybody helping me. I don't have a clue what I'm doing. I know I get on the sled on the left side, there's a brake, the right side, there's a thumb throttle, and they tell me I'm practicing tomorrow. Tomorrow afternoon, I'm heading towards Duluth, Minnesota, and I'm, racing Friday, and we hope I'm still racing Saturday. Anything from pros to amateurs, and they said if you're anybody in snowcross, you're at this race. It's the biggest event of the year. And it's ridiculous. They're talking about 100 to 110, 120 people just in the class I'm running in. And,
wow.
My understanding, unless I'm wrong, they only take 15 to the main event. So, there's a lot of people going back home, and this boy here don't only go back home unless I'm racing on Saturday. So, it's going to be the old fat end style, the Pt1 969. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to tell myself I'll pass on it, and I'm going to take it easy. But when it comes between, pushing over that edge to get to that qualifying position, I believe you'll see the sled get pushed a little bit over the edge. And hopefully you see that 969 sled going over the checker flag in qualifying position. But don't put it past going flipping out through the stands somewhere. Anything I do, I'm competitive at, and I want to win. So.
Well, Travis, there has to be something that translates from a ATV racing background to sled riding, snowmobile racing and stuff. There has to be a lot of the same characteristics. I'm sure a snowmobile is probably a lot heavier, I'm sure.
Well, I don't think it's a whole lot heavier. I know it's got a whole lot more horsepower, and I was just like you, man. I thought things would convert over and be a lot alike, and maybe they are for some people, but it's totally different for me. From riding posture to pulling up on the sled, how your knees are bent, how you go through rough sections. These things have enough horsepower. You don't have to pull up on the handlebars. You gas that thing, and it's pulling the wheels up for you. They're saying lean over the front and get a hold of some throttle, man. You'll be all right going through them sections. And I'm like I'm on Fuller out there riding around. So I'm sure it's fun for everybody to watch. Just like when I was getting thrown all over the place, flying through the snow, I'm sure that's kind of fun for somebody to watch too. So tomorrow, hopefully, I sleep on it tonight and I can find that groove you're talking about. Maybe I can find some similarity to where it is like a Fuller, but when it comes to being coachable, I ain't felt comfortable yet. I'm still way out of my element, man. I'm still not down the comfort zone yet, but it's coming. It's after a good dinner tonight, a nice rest, and we'll wake up in the morning and we'll get it figured out.
Wow, that's pretty neat and pretty enlightening, actually. But what about the jumps, man? How big are the jumps in snowcross? Are they a lot bigger than ATV motocross?
They're telling me they're going to be big. What we're at right now really don't have no jumps. It's really rough. Big holes, big swells. You got to kind of bounce through and cornering, and that's probably a lot of the reason I'm here, just to learn cornering. Because from what I'm gathering, from what people tell me, it's a lot like motocross in one sense. I guess it's one in a lot of the corners, man. If you can figure out how to correlate it, you can figure out how to jump. But they do say the jumps are straight up and down, and they're normally really big at this race. The only thing that they're saying they might not be as big as normal just because they're having to make all the snow. So I don't know exactly how big the jumps will be versus if they don't have snow here. So we'll see. They're telling me to get ready for some jumps. They may be kind of big, which is perfectly fine for me most of the time. So we'll get there and see. When it comes to jumping, I don't mind it, but I'm normally used to doing it on dirt. So we're going to see how this converts over.
Ought to be interesting.
I just keep thinking, man, the snow is softer. The snow is softer. The only bad thing is in slip, you're going to be a lot heavier if they run you over. So
yeah,
I'm trying to lay out my options here.
Yeah, I can imagine how much heavier they will be. Woo! But don't let that happen, man. Don't worry about that. Keep that out of your mind because that's not what's going to be taking place. You're going to be having some good times. So, looking at this, I mean, what's the whole experience for you? I mean, so far out of the first, you flew up last night?
Yep, we got in here last night. Me and my girlfriend Ashley, we flew up here last night. I told her I did not want to come do this ordeal alone, so she flew through with me to try to help keep me calm. I mean, I'm still, I'm still on edge over the whole wreck, and I'm still not still not in the clear of the wreck. The doctor told me if I bend the screws or, I bend that wrist back too far, I'm liable to lose all movement in, my thumb and index finger. So it's still, I'm still been on edge. I rode a Fuller 3 times since I got released from the doctor, and if I took time, I just wasn't in my comfort zone yet. I was just on edge, probably worried about the fact if I wrecked again and hurt my wrist again, would I ever be able to move my thumb or index finger again? So that was always in my head, and I've not been in my comfort zone. And you bring me to the snowmobile, and I'm way out of my comfort zone. So, we tagged her along here to come with me and hang out and try to help keep me calm. And we got in here last night, and about 1 o'clock actually relaxed and slept in like bones to about 10 o'clock this morning, and then went to the track. And we done the practicing today and talking to you tonight, and we're going to practice again tomorrow. Like I was talking about, we'll head down to Duluth and go out and have Thanksgiving dinner somewhere, man. Be thankful for where we're at and what we're doing and things we've been blessed with, and have a good meal. And I'm sure go back feeling miserable because we're completely stuffed, and get a good night's rest and wake up Friday morning and go qualify for Saturday. That's the plan. That's the experience of the weekend.
Amen, man. That sounds like a good plan. I know that you definitely got a lot to be thankful for. There's no doubt about that. Well, Travis, I tell you what, man, we're going to let you go ahead and get your night on. I know that you're probably tired, beat up, and got a lot to think about and focus on for tomorrow. But I do want to say thanks to you for being a big part of tonight's show, and we want to get an update on you from this in a week or two, and so just see exactly how things are faring for you. All right?
Yeah, touch base back with me. If anybody out there wants to check stuff out, the Rider Scope on Facebook, they'll be having videos and pictures of this all week, or all weekend. The race is going on here, and just touch back with us, and we'll get an update here for long. It looks like there's went from a 969% chance of snow to 100% chance of snow. So I'm here, and we're going to do this thing.
Well, that sounds good, man. I'm glad that you got all the positives going on in your life, and appreciate you taking the opportunity to be a part of Quad Radio Live this week, and Snowmobile Live, I guess you could say, in a sense. And, of course, we'll be looking forward to seeing how things are going, and we'll keep up to date with you. God bless you, man, and have a great and safe weekend and a happy Thanksgiving, all right?
All right, man. Happy Thanksgiving, y'all.
All righty. And once again, I want to say thanks to T. Moore there for being a big part of tonight's show, and also thanks to our friends at Impact Solutions, again, your factory authorized service center over there in Parkersburg, West Virginia, as well as our friends at SSID